an outline or background color on it. And then we'll move down to the subtext. Very much the same as the heading text. You're able to alter this text here. In this case, what will I type in here? I think I'll type in click here to
get your credit.
Get your credit back on track. So a nice little simple message for the consumer. And in this case, I will increase the font size to, let's say, 30. So, with regards to the appearance of the ad, again, I can change the justification and the advanced positioning on the subtext also, like we did with the heading. But that covers the creation of the appearance of the ad. The next step is to go into the behavior. So we'll click on the behavior tab. In this case, we have it opening this URL in a new browser window. We can redirect in the current browser window, or we can execute JavaScript. I'll leave it just as opening the URL in a new browser window. And here we actually place in the URL. So in this case, I will put http://sellmore.aslinternet.com/finance.html. Now, this URL, if you're not sure what URL that you want it to point to when you're typing it out, you could simply open up a new browser window, go to your website, find the page that you want to then take them to once that they've clicked on the ad, and just copy and paste into this window, into this text area, the URL itself from the page that you want them to inevitably go to. It may be the address of the credit application, or an address of another special offer page or something like that in your website. Moving further down, positioning. This allows you to position your ad on the page. Where on the page do you want it to appear? So you might want it to appear in the top left, at the bottom right. In this case, we have it appearing in the center. But by clicking any one of these little radio buttons, it helps you to identify where on the page you're going to position the ad when the ad displays for the consumer. So I'll just have it chosen on the center here. And then the last part of the behavior is the timeout. So the timeout allows you to be able to have your ad disappear after a consumer has not done anything with it, and it's just there right in front of the consumer. So in this case, I'm going to say no timeout, but if you had a timeout there, you could have it hide after 30 seconds or after 60 seconds or after 360 seconds, whatever it is that you want. So in this case, I'll have no timeout. And that covers the behavior. Now, the next step is to decide why and when your advertisement is going to appear for each and every consumer that you want it to appear for. So we click on the activation rules as I've done here. The first section is restriction. So I'm going to choose this time no restrictions, but you're able to have it show from a restriction standpoint once per browsing session per person with a 5-minute timeout, or showing once per visitor and then never again for the history of them showing up to the website, or show only for a visitor if other ads have not been shown within that browsing session of the visitor. So there's a couple of different options there. In this case, I will say no restrictions. The next section is the conditions of the ad. Now, the conditions of the ad are where it becomes very interesting and where it allows you to be able to target extremely well the visitors to your website. So in this case, I'm going to have it actually just show to all website visitors, but I could have it show to new visitors only, or I could have the ad show to return visitors only. So right now, for the ad where we've said welcome back, obviously that would be an ad that we are going to display to return visitors. But for the purpose of this demonstration, I'll just have it to all website visitors. Other options that make it very, very interesting. are indicated here below. The first one, and you can do any combination of these, or you can do these individually for each and every advertising campaign. The first one allows you to be able to only activate your advertisement for the visitors that you're showing it to when a particular word is contained within the URL of the page that they're looking at. So in the case of, let's say, automotive dealers, you can have advertisements appear specifically just by typing in, let's say, the word used in this area. If we check this on and we typed in used, when the word used appears in the URL of your website, so in the case of many of the ASL dealers, they have a section that's used.php. You don't need to include the entire URL. You just need to include a common portion of it that everybody would see. If we typed in used here, then the advertisement would only appear for those people looking at a used vehicle or at a list of used vehicles. So that gives you an example of what can be done there with regards to URL. Similarly, you can do that not necessarily with the URL, but you can also do it with the title of the page. Now, the title of the page is what generally appears here up in the top left-hand corner of the browser. It's commonly referred to as a meta title, or it's metadata that's embedded within the HTML of your page. So if a certain word appears within the meta title of your page that you want this to be this advertising to come up for, you can include that word specifically within this area, and then the ad is only going to display on pages where that word appears within the title of the page itself. Next is to be able to activate if the visitor has searched for particular keywords within a search engine. So let's say, for example, the consumer went to Google and they typed in used cars Calgary. So you could type in the word Calgary here, and then if a consumer comes to your website as a result of searching for something to do with Calgary in Google, then the ad is going to appear specifically for them. So that opens up a world of different possibilities. We've been able to target and carry on a targeted relationship with that consumer coming to your website as a result of their searching behavior and what they're typing into the search engine. The next area, only activate if the visitor is located in a geographic area. Where this becomes particularly interesting is if you want to run advertisements to people that, I'll use an example, let's say out-of-town visitors. So you may want to run something to the effect of, run this advertisement if someone is inside of BC but outside of Kamloops. You could run an advertisement that basically said, if you'd like to see special offers for out-of-town visitors, click here. And it allows you to be able to target out-of-town visitors or target people based on geographic location. Or within your greater trading area, you may want to run advertisements specifically for the next city over. So there's a constant rivalry here in British Columbia between the cities of Kamloops and between the city of Kelowna. So we may want to say on an advertisement here in Kamloops for a particular dealership, the dealership may want to say, click here for special offers for our customers in Kelowna that travel to Kamloops. So that would allow you to be able to target those types of customers in those types of ways. The next one is to be able to activate for visitors that have been on the page that they're on for more than X number of seconds. So if someone is flipping fast between page after page after page on your website, it may be annoying if an advertisement is constantly popping up in front of them. So you may want to have the ad appear only when they've been on a page for a particular